Hello class, I am Mr. Scobo, and today we're going to be going over image editing basics in Photoshop. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is to open your image. A lot of people are going to be tempted to click on New File, but I'm not going to suggest you do that. I'm going to say you click on Open, and then you click on the image that you have downloaded from Canva that you want to edit. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose this lovely image from a couple years back of some girls celebrating after scoring a goal on varsity soccer. Now, almost every single image that you have seen has been edited in some way. And the goal of editing is to tell a story, is to enhance an image, and is to make it more aesthetically pleasing. In editing, there's a lot of potential artistic choice, and that's what you're going to be exploring in today's assignment. Today, we're going to be going over 5-ish different steps. We're going to be talking about cropping, levels, curves, hues and saturation, and probably a little bit of vignetting or burning. Now to start, I'm going to begin with cropping. The goal of cropping is to help enhance and to emphasize your story. In this image that we have here, you can see there's a lot of information, and not all of it is going to help inform as to what the story is. Obviously, we can tell that there are some girls kind of packed in the center here who are celebrating. But not all of these girls, or not all of this information, is advancing that story. So what I really think is like these core girls right here are helping to enhance this celebration story. Number 11 is walking away. This referee's kind of distracting, and I want to get rid of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my toolbar, and I'm going to click on the crop tool. You can also choose the hotkey of C if you want to just get to it quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and draw, click and drag. I'm going to adjust the area that is being selected. Now you'll notice that we've got a rule of thirds lines here. And I'm going to draw this intersection portion over our captain's face, because remember, the intersecting areas are areas of particular importance where eyes tend to go first, and since we want to draw people's attention to this girl's face in particular, we're going to focus and place the intersecting lines over her. I'm going to hit enter, and now I've got my basic image. Next step I'm going to do is worry about my levels. So levels is a tool for adjusting color, and especially adjusting your dark and your black and your white points. So to access my levels, I'm going to come over here to the control panel where it says layers, and I'm going to go down to the bottom where it says create new fill or adjustment layer. I'm going to click on that and choose levels. Now what you see here is something called a histogram. All of this hilly chart is actually your color data. So this tells me that over here on the left, this is called your black point. Anything that is touching this side wall is pure black. Anything over here is pure white, because this is your white point, and here in the center is the gray point. If you want to adjust colors, you can click on this drop-down menu, this RGB, and you can choose red, green, or blue and adjust your colors that way as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the depth of contrast here. So I'm going to create an area of pure black and create areas of pure white. So to do that, I'm going to grab my black point and drag it to the right, and you'll notice it starts to darken the area. Then I'm going to do the same thing for my white. Click the white point, drag it to the left, just about to the area where like the information starts to show up. And then if I wanted to, the color balance looks okay. Maybe I'll remove a little bit of blue. This area, this was shot during golden hour, so if we want to like emphasize the goldenness of it, I could pull out a little bit more blue. But that's all I really need to do. All right. Next, I'm going to adjust my curves. Curves is all about contrast. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Layers, go back down to my new adjustment layers, click Curves. And again, you get a histogram, but you have this line here going through the center. This is how you're going to adjust with your curves. So the first thing you want to do is set an anchor point. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this center line that sets an anchor point, and I can drag it up and down to adjust my exposure. And then I'm going to set another anchor point, and depending on how you move this anchor point, either increases contrast. So if I drag down, creating this S curve, you'll notice that all the darks get darker and all the lights get lighter, and it kind of deep fries them. But we don't want to do that. If you pull it up, everything that was dark becomes gray, everything that was light becomes gray. Well, that's removing contrast. But I don't really want to do much of that, so I'm going to go ahead and find a happy medium, about like so. And I'm going to go back to my layers and adjust my hues and saturation. We've talked about hues and saturation in the past. So if I thought that there was an area that was too vibrant or not vibrant enough, I can adjust that. So one thing I don't think we've talked about is how to adjust individual colors. So if I'm looking at the red on the jerseys and think that it's a little bit too vibrant, you can adjust the colors individually. So if I click over here where it says Master to the drop-down menu, I can click on any of these colors and adjust each of those hues individually. So if I say drop my saturation on my reds, you can notice that those red jerseys are slowly going to start sapping in color. The way I use this most often is to remove yellow from teeth. Like if you're taking pictures of like your friends and you'll notice they've got like a little bit of yellowing to the teeth, you can select their teeth and then remove the yellow. So you just come over here to the yellows and then desaturate to remove any yellowness from the teeth. All right. And the last thing I'm going to do is something called burning or vignetting. This is where you subtly add a dark edge to the image. And this is supposed to kind of draw the attention inward. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go by layers, select my original background layer, because that's the layer that we're going to be affecting. And I'm going to come over here to what's called the burn tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly start painting or drawing kind of on the edges. And it's not going to look that different as I'm doing it. And it's not supposed to. So this is just darkening the edge subtly. And we can look back at it and you can see the difference. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my history. And anytime you make a change, if you do something you don't like, you can click on history and go back. So if I wanted to go back to see what it looked like before I did all that burning, I can click on my history panel here and then click all the way back. Now, be careful, you can only click back about 20 times. So if you make a mistake 25 clicks ago, there's no going back to fix it. So I start with my burn tool here, and you'd see the before and after. All it does is add a subtle edge of darkness, and that draws the viewer's eye inward. And with that, I think that's a good image. So next thing you're going to want to do is export this image. So you're going to go up to File at the very top, and then choose Export, Export As, and you want it to be a JPEG, Export, and you're going to want to change the name. So I'm just going to call this one Editing Basics, and hit Save. And that's all it takes. This is how I do a lot of my editing, those 4 basic steps. Again, that's kind of like the 80-20 rule. 20% of the knowledge gets you 80% of the way there. I look forward to seeing what you guys create.